Hello 8A, it's Mr. Cleary here, just giving you a quick update on what you are required to do today. So you guys have been working on your Litchi missions, as you should be. Now I just want to show you a few quick things with old Litchi, so I'll just jump in, get into the old Litchi mission hub. Now you have got all of this week to work on your mission, all of this week to make sure that your mission is absolutely perfect. Now it is essential that your mission is absolutely A1 perfect for a safe flight. So do take your time to make sure it's really dialed in. Do make sure you watch all the videos below, especially the one where I show Molly Frederick's mission. She's done a really good job with hers. So I'm going to very quickly take a look at some missions and just give you a few quick pointers for the day before you get stuck into your work. So just need to get to where I've got a couple saved. I think I've got one here. Um, what have I got here? Okay, so I don't know which ones these are, but I'm going to have a quick peek at them. So this is one around the school. Um, Now this is an okay mission, except oh yeah, no, it is doing the drops there. There's a few waypoints here where it's not doing the drop to 30 meters. Now I've gone through that in detail in Molly's video. Please, if you haven't taken a look at the video where I show off Molly's work, make sure you do. Okay, I can't accept your work if it doesn't have the deliveries dropping to 30 meters every time it gets to each waypoint. So if you're just flying around the school at 40 meters, you haven't really finished the work. So take a closer look at the instructions, take a closer look at the video that covers the instructions, take a look at the video where I talk through Molly's mission and why it's a good one, and make sure that your work is that good. Okay. Another thing you need to make sure you do when you send me a mission, rename your file so that your name is in the file. I'm going to be getting quite a few missions. I need to know whose is who so that I can make a proper assessment of your work. So once you've exported your mission as a CSV, I'm just going to have a quick look at these CSV files here. So I've got a few missions here. This is one that Jimmy sent me. Now you'll notice that they save as Excel files. So default in Windows, a CSV file will open in Excel. So we can take a quick peek at it in Excel. And we could take a look at it in Notepad as well. So CSV stands for comma separated value. This is a computer convention, a computer file convention that is used so that different files can be read between different computer systems. So basically you've got Litchi Mission Hub here, which is one computer system, and it needs to export a file that can be read by another computer system. So the drone has its own computer system, and both can read a CSV because it's like a doc or an exe. These are common file types, and a computer knows what to do with them. Okay, if a computer gets a doc, it knows it's a document. If it gets a .txt file, it knows it's a text file. If it gets a .jpg, it knows it's dealing with a picture. And if it gets a .csv, it knows it's dealing with a comma separated value file. So this is what the comma separated value file looks like in Excel. So you can see here, some of these things we understand. Longitude, latitude, altitude, these things make sense to us. So we know that the latitude and longitude deal with a GPS coordinate. We know the altitude is all about how high the drone's going to be. So the heading here, we know the heading is where the drone's going to point. We don't really know what 349 means, but when we set a heading over here in Litchi, that heading number is automatically taken care of. So the drone understands it, and that's the main thing. Now we end up with all these other values here, which we don't fully understand. So a curve size, rotation, direction, gimbal mode. So these are all to do with what the camera is going to be doing. Basically, for every single click you make in Litchi, you end up with, what do we got here? Almost 2 alphabets worth, so maybe close to 50 different numerical values that Litchi will interpret and the drone will interpret to make sure that your flight follows the exact instruction that you've given it. So we can look at that CSV file as a text document as well. So if we right click that and go to open with a notepad, it looks different all again. So the key thing you've got here is that these commas pop up. So there's a comma there and a comma here. And basically this is a language that a computer system can be told to understand. So in Excel, it knows that every time there's a comma, it needs to put whatever value comes next into its own cell. So that's how the file goes from existing in this space, which we can interpret. We can interpret a map, and we can interpret our clicks, and with these little triangles and where they point. That sort of makes sense to us, but it still has to take a couple of steps before the drone can understand it. So first it gets turned into a CSV file, which looks a bit like this, and then at the next stage along the line, all these decimal values will be turned into binary values, and that's when the computer system can really make sense of it. We don't really see that, but that's what will be happening underneath. So it's all some pretty fancy computery stuff going on there. I know it just seems like a few cool clicks and a few cool colored lines over here, but there is really a fair bit going on underneath in what you're doing. So just to recap, please watch all the video material on the Edmodo page. Please make sure you watch the video that shows off Molly's mission. Make sure your missions follow the instructions to the letter. I cannot fly your mission if it is, if there's any risk that it's not going to fly safely. I can't fly a mission. Okay, so you've got the time. Make sure it's perfect before you send those through. Thanks very much, guys.